split the ears of the groundlings.
Come out here and wrestle in the hole.
Flip them do.
Ready, Paul?
Oh, pranced along the edge. And we saw them. We saw them true. Oh. At the halo damp spot. They came along. Then engineering once. Because I said so. Because I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. I spoke my
Pressing hard against your faithful moment.
We ceased.
Echoes of burning in the stone.
My dress for you.
We are free to pleasure in the fire reviews.
The mechanisms of myself in the frail hours as I tiptoe through the minutes.
The trap goes against the old quarter.
Face command. Iron.
Looking at the axe instead of so energy.
There is no telling from whose voice, nor do not saw the air too much with your hand, came from the renegade.
Black circumference and a speed vein. Off out.
Who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. Noise, as I pronounced it to you, spoke my words, my lines. He spoke that language clearly, where we see the coins of a different colour.
Give me the hand that wrestles in the jungle.
Page and feather floated down. Ground and hard words resonated upon their ears, and it felt like dark as they felt forward from the
Clock stirs me. High ventilations. Melody combined. To a quick peak. Take it. Pick my boots. Pick my boots.
and the layers. Find our way to the yellow mirth, roar out against the side engine, that tingles. It is to decipher the red and the green, and their own style. Red on the against the blue. To neither the last word. Staying on trial on the scene, and I trace with you in the sand, and we take to be. We try. Or not to be. To be. You must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Who is green? And the short, nasty mess. I'll shut it. And they know it. And I'll shut it. In green. Enterprise of great pith and moment. That I see in the future, we bring to the past. Flesh with their hoof and the sickle load, pale cast of thought in aisles. And we transition to your foaming, farming mouth, where we position to fill, to grunt and sweat, be under a weary life. The far, position upon the far, near the discovery of your faintness. There's a grey matter that exists within the heart of man. Strength. Your faintness. You take your heart potion with a deep wound. We are best in the afternoon, and the divine and engulfs with a quivering naked satisfaction. They felt the quiet dismay that dripped down upon thy connecting the dots, trained capability. Speak the speech. Saw, I pray you, the intricate details tippling on the tongue. Strange, but if you mouth it, as many of our players do, the idea suit the action to the word to the action, upon the meaning that we attempt to give. Nothing with. That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind, dueling with sense, continuing. Let them be the ones who show the face, what the detail of which you attempted to grin, to suffer, decipher that language, turn out again full, the desolate street, toil, minute, useless. I sleep to see the heartache and the thousand natural shocks. Do you see it now, with your feather, with your friends? They were included in the room. Things. First, 0. Figure, be worthy. Aware, the sad line of emotion. It, where, light, the clay hands that mold the idea, they mold the it of that which is seen. Where knowing express yourself. Oh yes, for a better knot of truth. His mind sprang straight into thought. In your sequence of the rattled man firing all engines, where she comes from, when she was in the rough mode of step joy one. There, precious friend. I heard the one with gaskets in her eyes, ready to shoot the invaders. And what's what way? Well, that's why. That's why they don't do. There's not going to be anything about it. Balls that pretty piece. Opinion of others. Nothing before. And they reach into themselves and they explore their mystery inside the deep explore. And the wise works that develop man in his next phase of good. He writes down with his ink whether it is nobler in the mind than his dirty page. I see the wind and howl through his mind. The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. And I see that girl in the junkyard, and she prays the wild one, and they see the glory, and they see the rain, and I feel the dirt, and I feel the pain. And I see the mischief. We all see the mischief. The radar is blind, and you can take to speed on the freeway with Blondie and Super Math Man. The secret secretary, Lounge, and her shiny thermometer. While it's all frozen in time, and they disappear. that surrounds you in the light of the midnight.
On the midnight train, bleeding. They develop their own over
The heartache and the thousand natural shocks.
their own clench.
The question,
The heart that fell with all that all. Why? Because I have it in a heart. And then all. You gotta tell. They've got it in their eyes. See, they've got it in there.
pink wall at human affection. I see you in your green bath and deeper flow toward your liberated perception of your genius. That icon
And all the ripple of things. What is all them are they? Ooh. The banquet. We saw the banquet. And where? From the rhythm. Calms now, frowns down upon your love with the fumes into your direction, and they'll see with a pale eye.
abnormal on times blue and the small bath on dementia oxygen level sequence in main quarter opposite the Fool.
I can draw anything really, but I will say more like this is similar. Ooh. Oh, time. I fall down with the writing of the words. With the writing of nothing. It felt it fighting, they were fighting the silence of man. Fighting the silence of man. They are fighting the silence of man. They are fighting the silence of man. They are fighting the silence of man. Fighting the silence of man. Fighting the silence of man.
Fighting the silence of man.
Fighting the silence of man. In his chamber, where he proceeds to develop a sense of what he is.
I am fighting within the silence of man.
I am fighting within the silence.
I am fighting within the silence of man.
I am fighting within the silence of the man who spreads down his conscious levels within the dread that he feels. Within the dread that he feels. Fighting within the silence of man. Silence within the fighting. Silence. Silence within the fighting of man. Stretching to and fro to gain nothing. To gain nothing from an insular mode. Fighting within my own silence of man. Hitting the words deep with a sense of uselessness. Within, what is it within bracket? Within a sense. I know not have I to gain with this. I are alive. I feel that. Oh no. Myself in the something. What am I? A fragment in time, a belief, a knowledge, existence. Here, develop, join, exit, about, develop, or the non-word, the non-word where I seek myself. What is that exactly? What is that? Where am I going? Who am I? Where? Where? Where for what? Where? For the ends of the genuine ones at the splitting comb where they hear their advice upon the wall, that they know where the numbers are written, falling again to the top side where they speak numerical value. The grace on your clever day with the neurotic robots as they display their wealth and the conjured belief, tall one liaison that rise and the paint hit the canvas, his eyes, he knows that. Story included was a little man who struts along. He has something to contribute. It's a big why and a big no.
knowing of the things, and you get that verse within the thing, and then it comes within the other thing. The importance, as we know it, where the incarnation of the face flex upon the reason, has it its way with words, treble style, genius, where nothing feels like everything. Cold it was very isolation. And we see the nucleus of the apparatus which sinks slowly down its hole into a vacuum space where the numbers separate from themselves and the two faces come together. Frowning face was there, just above the doorknob, certain that in deliverance of a key that they can proceed further through the dark spot. You see the red lamp which glows. You only see that nose, and it points in the direction of the narrative, which struggles, churns, and it turns through the tanglement of its own ambition, desire to be is. Leading into a new day. The anxious. The minute and delicate thoughts in a few hours. With words that are faded yet intelligible, and collects the memory of that which you are tuned into. Hum now toward what will be and what has and is through the kaleidoscope of adventure, of be for well, with a difference that are made silhouette of the sorrowful one. That icon against your yellow background and your mess sweet perfect vision, I see you are with the person in electro red, white stripes, tiny voice, two-touch machine, unvaluable, untamed pink, on with the strange stitch. Is it a switch? Bent reality groove, white, a sequel with equalizer, zero spot, and the heart breaks. Pac-Man Punch runs into 1982, Wild Zone, and gets killed by the tabloid day. The apparatus slowly sunset with you. The same sea and a boat full of toys. And the degree and the tide of the intuitive view goes to Indeed. Room is large. We grip our tools in the old-fashioned way toward the straining men. The neon stop to you at the design. I'm going to shine. Neon stop sign I saw. The 44 points of the fifth person who clutch to their apparatus. We see a space being and their time in green. Here then, we of the silver lining outpost. Four fingers with you. Teleportation. Staring off on boat with the famous that sense all of me. Iglois Inglaxenol Zoo and the Inglaxenol at 32 dark bends, and the second of which you mind 7 in white system, anti-speed down, custom on black. Oh, I say on the journey to Star Red, Triple Haze Moonshiner, and the magnetic full plate. One. He showed the ink, the letter, and the voice that is in the small space, speaking from the beginning. The amazing is true. Diamond heart, flash and sound, the sand leading to the golden cove, sweet, and the silent music it blocked, and the superior way of me. Line drawn between you and me to the isolating spot. I am the shining, everything that is carefully construed, delicate dinner host, wearing blue gloves in the thin air and the midway frequency at he sing in the streets. Come to the way where you feel dear inside of smell. Inks, they are at second one, right in last mirror image of the white buffalo stump, where the sound is keep straight. And looking into your eyes in the sharp garden where the lions eat and the cockatoos talk on the merry-go-round, and this way of destination is in tune with the mechanical people and the flat face. They are of non-charge and they run to the finish line with 10 feet. Breakthrough time. Breakthrough time. In their isolation, they whisper words of bronze with each other in the chaos hibernation chamber, and the orange lounge is at bay. The water scene, removal of white secrets in the awkward painter's hand, and the blessing of the unique base, the wound, black grace. When the man becomes to himself and reflection feel the sun on my face. We are the number makers. We see through you into the cinema screen that speak with a syllable in the aisles in large form. The hungry wolf making the grass. We too know, and the lonely nun with her centerfold. The dial turn. And the sweet sensation of your lips to mine, and the wonder of the eye, the crown, and my dirty hands with filth, in the beauty and the anxiety of the need. Deep sense can then hold on and then be in a watch or what. Like all the joy. What can you feel? Smudge yourself against color. Digest it. What thoughts are coming to your mind? You're inside the decibel. Hmm. I feel yeah. Yuck. Wild. Alchemy of the detective station. The outcome of crude formula in the streets. I'm right. We're broken. I see it through a whole man along the trail. And I said, as we go along the trail further deeper into the other space, I embraced it. Embraced that dialect. Run up the hill. Oh yeah, I see them. I see the earnest dream. Delusional. Slow drift of the light mental vapor above our heads and in our eyes. And that's where we see the chasm of the golden way at the dot where I spoke. Out of the nowhere space and into himself. If he reaches for you and me in the expansion of royalty, at a moment resembles close to us. We belong to our time, that lost the essence, frail glance, and shapes your satire. We master in the morning at the junction box at the will of the man. And they collect themselves, they protrude outwards. They are the feeling, they are the motion, they are the penetrators of a time that changes man's eye in his discussion of himself, for the further meaning of himself, for the articulate anger that he suppressed in his hour. And we set forth, he set forth in his ability to know the difference. His artful pulse that he surmises in his mind with his rightful sorrow, to express himself in one point that he has, one little point that he has. That highway that he sees, that he knows so well, with his fear and his determination, the long haul down to the treasure of his heart and his ache. He spindles his way through the dark stories. Dark stories, you can see the light. It goes through mysteries that entangles man. The church, the sharp church, the ocean and the ways of the ocean. The ages, the miles that have spoken, they come up from the grave. Red, the building, the stairs, the anxiety, the heat of a familiar day. Things broken on the stairs, stormy outside, clouds, the scatterment of the old, delay in time, sheets with the words they can spell,
A clown with his face, his distorted face, and smile. He glanced down the street in the silent minutes and saw her standing sincerely, waiting for me. Tiredness of myself in the trail of the first forgotten, first moments. Talking to myself in the midst of nothing. For the meaning of it. Shocks, flashings and arrows, shocks, 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 shocks. To die, to sleep no more, and by sleep we saved. They're bellowing for a meeting, strides into the church. The people are sitting at the pews, and they're crying because of their sins. The rodents, the ghosts, they've come up as regulators, and we see the pain on the page. We see the words written on the page, and the people are gasping, and they're reeling, and they're thinking, and they're summing themselves up like a gas flame. And the priest is stamping down, he's shouting out in the verse of his words. He's looking at the people. He is feeling. And the rain comes pouring down through the cracks in the building. And we see a slimy line full of madness, the madness that man makes, the madness that I took through the chaos. My thread there. Moment. It's powerful. It has meaning or thoughts. It has love. It has a collectiveness. Feel the soul. Feel it. See the stars. Reach out. Grasp the idea. Inclination or thought, possibility along the trail, and they pulled in the weak man. I was crying out for a way, crying out for a simple way. Delve into the mystery of yourself through the bones. All that is with the word that you created. For yourself, it is only you. In the deep space where you're alone can give significance to another. She woke up. She felt it. I see it in the shepherd, the words that are like a dynamic display.
Fool. For them. To a displacement time. Faraway place. And a quiet semblance of yourself. Previous notion. Blindness. Gather your way. The aging men come together in hallowed place and tell about the old time when illusion, their choice of reality has spoken to them. Kill from their side. Aware of their hours, their possibility. In the possibility of themselves that they contemplate. That's what they have. That's nothing. A glimpse. A glimpse into the knowing. With the great words only a God. Only in the old lives where the witches fly and the sun shines hard and the suckling and the words go still.